welcome to Out of the Box. I am your co host, Eunice Daniels, and with me today I've got my wonderful husband.
Hi, good to be on set today.
In this program, we're going to be continuing our discussion on money matters. On the last program, we talked about why people in general struggle with money. And one of the things we talked about was that people have um, a mindset towards money that's not healthy, a mindset and attitude that's not healthy. And we learned that one of this mindset is that we don't know how to make our money work for us. We go to school, we learn all different subjects, but we don't learn how to make money work for us. And we talked about the fact that money is a tool, and the attitude that we give to it is what is going to come back to us. Today, as we continue on this discussion, we have our wonderful guest, our expert, Mr. Sam Lee. You're
Thank
welcome
you.
to the
Thank
program.
you. It's great to be here. Thank you.
Praise God. Now we're going to just introduce one or two concepts just to create a bit of balance. I know that we talked a lot about problems, so to say, in the last program, as if to say, you know, okay, if I find myself in this financial struggle, which I already know, you're not telling me anything new. So what am I supposed to do? I believe that we will cover that in
Yeah,
this program.
yeah.
But I'll just point out something here. The Bible tells us very, very clearly that money is good. But it also gives us some caution about money. So I'm going to point our attention to those two scriptures, and then we're going to kick off from there. Now, in Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 19, it says, a feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh merry. But money answers all things.
That's
Money
right.
answers all things. There is no doubt in my mind and in the mind of every one of
Yes,
us that
yes,
money is good.
That's
You
right.
know, and I think we did touch about that
Yeah,
last program,
yeah.
yes, we did.
that, money is neutral,
Yes,
and that, it depends on who is carrying it, who has it. It takes the shape of whoever it is that has it. So money is good when a good person has it, and money could be bad or
makes bad
Yes, in
evil
the
people
hands
worse.
of.
when
Yeah,
an evil person has it.
That's
yes,
So,
right.
but
yes,
money, that the money answers all things is, it's, incontrovertible. It cannot be contested. There are lots and lots of things that we do for money today, including Christians.
That's
You
right.
just need to watch a lot of programs on TV, Christian TV today, and you will see what money is doing, what
Yes.
money has done. Universities being built, souls are being saved, poor are being helped,
Empowered.
empowered in different ways. So,
That's
so
right.
money helps, and you can't put food on your table without
without
money,
That's
money.
right.
Yeah,
neither a roof on your head without money. So there is no doubt that that tool of exchange, or that medium of exchange, you must have strength in it.
That's
I
right.
call it financial strength. So that is the first point that I would like to make. Secondly, is what the apostle Paul says to us. He said in First Timothy chapter 6, verse 6, he said, but godliness with contentment is great gain. Contentment is very important. He said, for we brought nothing into this world, and it's certain that we carry nothing out.
That's right.
And having food and raiment, and I always say that on the basis of Maslow theory, or hierarchy of needs, you need to have food, you need to have roof over your
The
head, you need to have
basics.
clothes over your. That's basic. If you're
That's right.
struggling to have those three things, you need money.
Yes.
I don't want to say that you're poor, but you're struggling. And therefore, when people start to knock people on the head about prosperity issue, have you got food? Are you covered? Have you got
Yes.
roof over your head?
yes,
And then he says that, if you have that, then you can be content. And we will not struggle with anyone who say, well, I'm okay. I'm financially stable. I'm not wealthy, but, I'm okay. We're not knock anybody on the head for that. Just sometimes we like to encourage people to be a blessing if
yes,
they know how to receive and be blessed. So
That's
he
right.
said, but they that be rich sometimes fall into temptation and a snare, and in many into foolish hurtful lusts,
That's right.
which drown them in destruction and perdition. For the love of money is the root of all evil. Many people quote this one and avoid money. But the Bible doesn't say, and as you know, it doesn't say money is the root of all. It says the love of money,
love of
the
it.
filial, the unhealthy relationship
That's
with
right.
money
Yeah.
is the root of
Greed,
all
yes.
evil.
Yeah.
Greed, covetousness, competitive jealousy. I have it, I saw somebody has it,
Yeah.
and I too want
I
to
want
have it.
it, yeah.
So that's the balance that we want to create and let you have that balance in the scripture. But the emphasis of this program is we want you to be empowered financially. We want you to get out of financial rut that you may be
right.
in.
That's
And
right.
I'm going to hand over to the Vice President of Genister, who is our special guest,
Okay.
Sam.
Thank you very much. So, like we said in the last program,
Yes.
money is a game.
Yes.
And I think to win that game, you need to understand money.
Mm.
The greatest marketing ploy of all time was changing the word debt and turning it into a positive word, which is credit.
Mm.
So they say you go to the bank to get a credit card.
Mm.
Credit means it's yours,
Mm.
but it's not yours.
Mm.
It's the bank's money. And so they fool us with their words to say it's a credit card. And I think when people understand how interest rate works, it makes a massive difference. So there's this thing we teach called the rule of 72. And what the rule of 72 does, if you're taking notes,
Rule
and
of
actually
72.
just before that is to say, if you go online, if you Google the secret history of the credit card,
Mm.
it's about 58 minutes long. It's worth a watch. The secret history of the credit card. It was set up to keep us in debt. Simple. Now, when you look at the rule of 72, this basically shows you how long it takes for your money to double at a given interest rate.
Right.
So let's assume, my sister, you've gone to your bank and you've given them £10,000. And the bank says, because we love you, we'll give you 3% for your £10,000. Now, if you have any savings right now, you'll be lucky if you're getting 0.5%.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So we're very generous saying 3%. All you need to do is divide 72 by 3, which is the interest you've been given.
Wow.
That's 24. That means your £10,000 will grow slowly, and after 24 years, you can go and get £20,000.
Wow.
If you leave it in for another 24 years, now after 48 years, you can get a whooping £40,000. Now, if you add 48 to your age right now,
Yeah.
£40,000 should not excite you.
No.
And even if you think of the buying power of £40,000 in 48 years, might as well just not bother. All right? So that's where you've given your money to the bank. Now, let's assume you invest your £10,000.
Yeah.
You can buy property. You
Yes.
can put in
Yes.
shares. You
Yeah.
can buy
Yeah.
bond.
Yeah.
Let's assume you're now getting 6% for your £10,000. What happens now is you divide 72 by 6, which is the interest you're getting. This is now 12. That means after 12 years, your money will have doubled to £20,000 instead of 24. And then
Yeah.
£40,000,
Yeah.
£80,000. After 48 years, you would get £160,000
Much
Wow.
better.
for the same £10,000. That's a lot better, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, when a lot of people save their money, they give it to the banks.
True.
What do the banks do with your money?
Trade with it.
They trade with it. So they lend your money out or they trade with it.
Yeah.
I'm in the queue behind you. I say, can I borrow £10,000? And the bank gives me your £10,000. But now they actually give it to me at 12%. It's your money, but they've
right.
lent it to me. Now, 12% is being very generous, because if you have a store card, you're probably paying 27%.
That's
If
right.
you have a credit card, you're paying 36%. And I'm not even going to go there when it comes to all these payday loans. Because when you see those adverts,
30%.
when you
Yeah.
see those adverts on TV where they
Yeah.
say, come and borrow money, I always pause it and I call my children. I say, come and look at this. it's sometimes
Underneath
1,000%. Yeah.
Wow.
Underneath it.
Wow.
Underneath, it's about 1,000%.
My goodness.
So I'm not even going to go there. I've got clients where they borrowed £300. A year later, they owe nearly £2,000, just
That's
because
a
of the
lot.
way they've borrowed the money.
Yeah.
So now your banks have given me your £10,000 at 12%. What's happening for the banks now is 72 divided by 12 is 6. That means your money is doubling for the
Doubling.
banks every
Yes.
6 years.
Yes.
Yes.
After 48 years, the banks would actually earn £2.56 million
Wow.
With
from
your money.
your money.
Yes.
So they will give you £40,000
Yeah.
and maybe give you a really nice pen
Yeah.
and say thank you very much for giving us your money,
Yeah.
when they've just earned £2.52 million.
Wow.
That's right.
Wow.
It's ridiculous. And what happens to a lot of us is we don't know this stuff. We just give them our money because we need to save.
That should make you angry.
Those were the things that helped me to be where I am, because I learned that and I thought, wow, these guys, if you want to make money, open a bank,
Yeah.
basically. And that's actually one of the things we're looking at in the future as a company, is actually starting our own bank, whereby we will make money,
Yeah.
but we'll reinvest it back and actually share it with the people who've saved their money in our bank.
Yeah.
That's one of the things we're thinking of in the future.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't understand that little concept of the rule of 72. I would encourage you to go and do the research.
Right.
Yeah.
People have a mortgage
The rule
and
of
they
72.
pay, the rule of 72.
Yeah.
People pay their mortgage every month. Now, paying your mortgage every month is great. However, if you pay it every 2 weeks, you will save yourself between 5 and 7 years on the mortgage.
Paying it every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
You mean pay the same amount every 2 weeks, or slash it into half and pay every?
I was hoping one of you would ask that. Yeah. So what you do is let's assume your mortgage is £1,000 a month.
Yeah.
Pay 500 2 weeks.
Yeah.
500 2
500
weeks
again,
later,
yeah.
and then every 2 weeks you pay 500.
Okay.
The way that works now is you're paying your mortgage 13 months in a year, not 12 months.
Yeah.
Because when you pay 12 months, there's 48 weeks. But how many weeks do we have in a year? We've got 52.
Yeah.
So where's that 4 disappeared to? But when you pay every 2 weeks, you're actually paying an extra month every year. That will shave your mortgage into so much.
See, that's what they call rapid reduction
Acceleration, yeah.
strategy for eliminating your mortgage. So from 20 years, 25 years, you can pay things so very quickly within 7 to 10 years.
The secret to money is overpaying. If you can overpay your mortgage or overpay any debt, you will come out quicker. The rule of 72 is really about time. People ask the wrong question. They ask questions like, how much do I pay back now? They don't ask, how long is it going to take me to pay it off? And what the banks and the organizations like to do is to keep you in debt for as long
That's
as
true.
possible.
Yeah.
The longer you're in debt, the more you're paying back.
True.
I went to see a lady some time ago, mid-50s, and she had a £5,000 credit card debt. She was paying £90 every month. She'd been doing that for years, until I asked her for a statement. And I said, look on this statement here. And 70 of that 90 was interest.
Interest, yeah.
Yeah.
Only 20 quid was
Goes
going
back
towards the
into
capital.
repaying.
Yeah.
When I put that in the system, he said it's going to take over 100 years for her to pay that £5,000
Wow.
off.
Wow. Wow.
It's the
Wow.
interest. And I think when you understand it, you can beat it.
Yes.
The problem is a lot of us don't understand it. Now, you mentioned earlier about solutions. And I've got different solutions that I give to people. One of the first things I talk to people about is, do you have a CCMP?
Okay.
And a CCMP really is a clear, concise mental picture of what
Where
you want.
to be,
Where
yeah.
The scripture
want to
talks
be.
about write your vision down.
That's
Make
right.
it plain, yeah.
Yeah? How many of us actually write our vision down?
Your financial vision.
Yes, how many of us
Yeah.
know where we want to be a year from now? You are responsible for your financial economy. There's nobody's fault. Wherever you find yourself financially, it's your fault.
That's right.
And a lot of people don't like it when I say that, but that's just
That's
when,
the
when,
reality.
when I was in that situation, it was my fault
Mm.
because I didn't have the knowledge.
Mm.
And I think you are responsible for where you are. And I say, have you got a CCMP? You know, and your clear, concise mental picture really is, what do you want financially?
Yeah.
Now, and I always say it's got to be smart,
Mm.
which means it's got to be specific,
Right.
it's got to be measurable,
Mm.
it's got to be achievable,
Mm.
it's got to be realistic,
Mm.
and it's got to be time bound.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is your
Yes.
CCMP or your goals, is it smart?
Mm.
Have you written it down?
Mm.
Is it up on your wall? So if you come to my house and you come to my bedroom, I've got a whiteboard above my bed. My children, my wife and I, we cut up our goals. It's on the whiteboard. When I wake up in the morning, guess what I see? When I go
A
to bed
vision
at night,
board.
guess what I
Yeah.
see?
That's the
Yeah.
principle of having a vision board.
Yes.
Yes.
Your financial vision board.
Yes.
Yes. When you look on my
Yeah.
phone, my screen is my goals for 2020. My alarm comes off at 6 o'clock, my goals pop up. 10 o'clock, my goals pop up.
Yeah.
I look at it 2-3 times a day. I think it's important that we invest in things like that because when you see it, you can seize it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you see those things, it makes
You
a
work
massive
towards
difference.
it,
It
yeah.
makes a massive difference.
Yeah.
And one CCMP I like to give to people, and I'm going to give you that CCMP, is something I teach people called the 10-10-10-70 strategy. And the 10-10-10-70 strategy basically
Yeah.
means you get paid, you go to work and you get paid. You work hard for your money. But who do you pay first?
Yeah.
What a lot of people do is we pay our mortgage, we pay our rent, we pay gas, electricity, we pay everybody else first. We don't get paid. And I think it's really important that you work hard for your money. You need to get paid for that.
That's a great
So,
idea.
yeah. So what I
Yeah.
say to people is the first 10% of the money you earn every single month, give it away.
Mm.
It could be a charity.
Yeah.
It could be your church. It could be anybody.
Mm.
Give it away. You're blessed. Bless other people. The next 10%, save. Save for an emergency fund.
So pay your tithe and do your savings.
Yes.
Yes.
Save for an emergency fund. If the tire goes on your car, you don't need a credit card. Yeah.
True.
The next 10%, invest in your future. So are you putting something aside for retirement? Remember, you're responsible for your personal economy. If you're waiting for the government to look after you, what, 120 something pounds a week? I'm sorry. Some banks are now
Anyway.
giving mortgages up to the age of 80.
Wow.
It's ridiculous.
That's
Yeah?
terrible.
The remaining 70%, let them fight over it. Now, for a lot of people, 10-10-10-70 is really difficult.
That's right. Very good.
So, your CCMP is to do what you can do. Starts off with 11197. Give away 1%. Save 1%, invest 1%. I promise you, consistency is the key to success. If you want to be successful, you need to do it consistently. So I challenge you to do that. 1, give away, 1, save, 1, invest. And what you'll find out over time is you will increase it. It just happens. You'll have more. And before you know it, you'll be doing 222,
Yeah.
90, whatever that is, 333, and you will get to 10-10-10-70.
Yeah.
So if you're struggling with your tithe, I know that we would deal with the issue of tithe. You know, it's the giving that is important. It's the putting first God in your life, putting God first in your life that is important. You know, if you say, when are you going to be able to give that 10%? Start with 1.
Yeah.
Go to 2. Go to, you know,
I like
and
that.
build it up.
Yeah.
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 Before you know it, you'll be giving 90%. Some
Yeah.
people are
Yeah.
giving 90%.
Yeah.
You know.
I just think if you'll be blessed if you bless others.
This is out of the box, by the way. Some pastors not gonna like that, you know. But we rather than not give anything. Well, just a food for thought.
Yeah. It's just you've got to bless. If you
Yeah.
if you bless other people,
That's right.
and it will come back to
Yeah.
you 100-fold.
Yeah.
But you've got to proactively
Yeah.
do it.
Consciously
You can't
do
just
it.
say, you
Yeah.
know, you've got
Yeah.
to do it. You've
Yeah.
got but you've got to invest in yourself. You've got to invest in yourself.
Pay yourself.
Pay yourself first.
Yeah.
Pay yourself first. Very important. And the key is just to really pay off your debt as quickly as possible. That is usually one of the keys to becoming debt free. So yeah, those are the solutions. Some of the solutions: having a plan, having a plan in place to say, okay, this is where I want to be, this is where I want to go, and putting that in place and actually doing it. And a plan, sometimes people make plans. I saw somebody who says, I want to own a Ferrari or something ridiculous like that, and I was like, okay, how long have you had a driver's license? Actually, I don't drive yet. Like,
Well,
you know, what kind of plan is that? It's just no. It's got to be, you've got to make sensible plans. You've got to make plans, but if you do have a plan, then work with it. It's got to be a plan that it's a burning desire.
Yeah.
So for me, my burning desire is to leave a legacy. I want to create generational wealth
That's right.
for my children. When I'm gone, I want them to say, our father left this for my grandchildren.
That's right.
I'm actually thinking, I've got a grandson now, he's about 15 months old. My goal is to leave something for him.
Okay.
The scripture talks about leave an inheritance for your children's children.
Yeah.
And for me, that's what I'm working with, and that's what gets me up in the morning. Just being able to say, I want to create generational wealth. I'm tired of generational poverty.
Yes.
And I think more of us need to be thinking along those lines.
That's right. That's
Being
right.
able to, have something for your, right now we can't leave anything for ourselves, talk less our children.
Someone said, if you have 4 children, make sure you leave them at least 4 houses.
Aha, okay. So they all have beds.
Yes. Until you can have those 4 houses,
You're not
you
leaving
haven't
anything.
started yet.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
Right, that's great. We've learned quite a lot of things in this program, and that's about having CCMP
Yes.
and knowing how money works. And you will do a lot to go over this video time and time again and just get the principle. We've shared some really top secret about how to reduce your mortgage length of payment and have a mortgage-free house, for example. I have done it, and I can testify to what you've said, that I paid more
Overpaid.
each month,
Yeah.
and that reduced some 15 years to about 7 years.
And just
You
to
know,
interrupt you real quick, I think one of the worries for people in that instance is to say the bank says they will charge you if you overpay.
No.
Or if you pay it off early, and people are worried about that. But the thing with that is, if they're going to charge you £2,000 and you're going to save £20,000,
Yeah.
again,
And many of the banks actually have how much you could pay without being charged.
yeah,
They do have, and you need to find out from
yeah.
your bank or your lender, concerning that. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Now, before we go, let's talk a little bit about magnetizing money. Some people call it Midas touch.
Okay.
Can we explore that? Is there a reason why some people, it looks like if they start this business, everything goes well. If they disemployed, they do so well, and because we sometimes, because especially if we have this mindset about maybe I'm cursed, maybe I'm blessed, and what is it? Or maybe they have to go to some herbalist somewhere, is going to do some juju somewhere or jinx somewhere so that they can make money. But you don't have to do that. There is something about being able to attract money into your life. Is that possible?
I think the most important part of that for me is where they say you're the sum total of the 5 closest people to you. If you surround yourself with 5 people who are not taking you anywhere, if you're the smartest person in your group, you need to change that group. Because they're not pushing you. They're not challenging you.
That's true.
You've got to roll. In my opinion, if you do want to, somebody said, if you want to be good at something, find an expert and do exactly what they tell you to do.
Yeah.
But what most of us do is we do this thing where we keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. I think I'm sorry, yeah, curses, I don't really know about that too much. But I think if you're surrounded by people that say I'm cursed and people who are negative
Yeah.
24/7,
Yeah.
guess what?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's a
That's
man
what you're
thinking
gonna
in his
get.
heart, so
Yeah.
is he.
Yeah.
You think curses, you live a cursed life.
Yeah.
I'm sorry
Yeah.
to say, but
That's
that is the
yeah.
way it works.
Yeah.
You think abundance, you live a life of abundance. It's just very simple. You don't even have to be a Christian for that to work for you because it's a spiritual principle. Which leads us to another thing, the spiritual background or spirituality of money.
Mm.
Let's talk about that because, again, yes, you put your hands in something and works so well. You do something else, you know, it works so well because there is something behind you. I think we talked about it in the last series, which is the blessing.
Yeah.
You know, and if you have the blessing of God upon your life, you will see that, you know, and you know how to work it.
Yes.
Part of it is to engage it.
Yes.
You know, some of the things that you shared earlier on. Yes, you're not lazy, because another thing that we didn't talk about, you know, is laziness. It's pretty much how some people are not able to do and be able to experience financial blessing in their lives. Now, I think we're running out of time now, and remember that God is not through with you yet financially. Remember also that with God,
All
all
things
things are
possible.
possible. And you can do all things, include financial freedom through Christ that gives you strength. God bless you. We'll catch up again in the next program where we're going to talk about cash flow management. That's all we're going to talk about, cash flow management. How do you make ends meet? Whether you earn £500 every month or you earn £1,000 every month, or whether you earn £10,000 every month. It's possible for you to earn £10,000 every month and still struggle financially. It is possible. Many people are experiencing that right now. But how do you live within your means? Join us next time.